It's Mexican Monday, if you can't tell, everybody. And it is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And we're live on Rumble, I do believe, as well as YouTube, I'm pretty sure, right? D Live, I think. What's up, Cody? Jesus Fish? Pinochet's helicopter? I disavow. What are we going to be covering today? It is, did I say January 6th? Merry Christmas to the Armenians and all of the people who are like Orthodox Christians. If you were raised Orthodox, I understand it. If you turned Orthodox, I guess I understand it. I don't really relate, but I do somewhat understand it. No, yes, I suppose I even sort of relate. Oh, I better... Did I turn on my server? Let me turn on my punchy TV. You know, they've been talking about these, I hate to say the term, grooming gangs. You know, that's happening or has been happening, had been happening for years, decades, I guess. What's up, Kevin? How? Just tell us about your shirt. In the UK, because there's a lot of Muslims who go over to the UK. They even have a Muslim mayor of London. Talk about, in my opinion, a slap in the face. It's not even like one of those based, conservative, Christian-friendly Muslims necessarily. He's like a liberal, a lame-o, in my opinion. But anyway, like they've been, and it's so crazy. They've been, well, in some cases, there's like gangs that are grabbing, I guess, wayward young white girls. Mostly girls, I think. Mostly white. Specifically targeted, I think. And, you know, having their way with them. Not God's way, Satan's way. The selfish, evil way, apparently. And it's like whole groups of them. It's wild. I actually read about it in Wikipedia. Because I only listen to Wikipedia. I don't listen to what you guys say. But I disavow Wikipedia. They do have a liberal bias. But they, you know, they cite the mainstream media. And if the mainstream media is saying it as fact, then I can, you know, sort of trust it. And then I'm not giving misinformation that YouTube can take me down. Although it's not a pleasant topic, and I will, you know. Anyway, I don't really like talking about it, but it's kind of crazy. It's like really happened. JLP, back when I think I was producer at the time, he interviewed this, I think she was like a lady, a white lady, a liberal, who I think she was talking about the bachi-bazi, something like that. Woo. The dancing little Muslim kids. I don't know if they're Muslim, but they're like Arab looking. And I saw I'm traumatized because I saw a little thing on X. And they're like literally like little twerking boys. So that's nasty. But those are some of the evil things going on in the world, in every culture. It's why you got to overcome the culture. I did miss all of your super chats. I was remiss in not reading your super chats. That's terrible. Including from Aries 1, gave me a bunch of those ninja sleds. They're still giving ninja sleds. Ninja sled things over on the D-Live crew. I saw some Rumble rants from you guys, from Pastor Chatelet. What's up, man? Chatelet. He gave me a tip that I may share. A flat earth, was it flat earth? Tip. And I may share that a little later. I have to review it still. And, you know, a bunch of coffees, too. Some long coffees. Little Rock, It Man, and others, you guys. You know, I had Big Bump on Friday. That was cool. Very cool. Wearing a nice shirt. And it's not pink. I mean, I guess you could call it a little bit pink. But it's a neutral, brownish pink. So, You can call in 1-888-775-3773. My apologies. I was wrong. I was remiss in my duties to read the super chats. Oh, and Popcorn. Popcorn's Thump Keg gave a coffee for Big Bump and gave another one. Gave another one with a request that I shall consider. Popcorn's Thump Keg. It's not stump, it's thump. And I am live on punchy.tv/Hake, and we're having a busy day today, guys. Joel Friday right after Hake, Hake right after JLP, Joel Friday right after me, like I said, American Anchor Baby right after him, and then Punchy TV live at 2 p.m. Can you believe it? Live from 6 a.m. till like 3-ish, maybe even like 3:30. Who knows how long Punchy TV may go. So that's cool. And since it is Christmas for the Armenians, and we love the Armenians, although sometimes they're not honest. Merry Christmas, Armenians, and this is the last time for like 11 months that you will get to hear this, so enjoy. Let's get with the show.
Have you been naughty or nice?
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey guys!
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. We're having a good old time. In my opinion, we're having a good old time. Merry Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas. You know, a little bit of news first, shall we? Look at the beautiful beach scenery. I can't even go to that beach anymore. Oh, what's up? Go over to there. Rest in peace to Jimmy Carter. He died at 100 years old. It's cold and severe weather for a lot of you guys. Cackling Kamala Harris is going to be certifying her loss. I used to fantasize about if I saw Biden, I would be like, hey, Biden, Trump won. I got 2 words for you, Biden. Trump won, you lame-o. But I'm okay with Biden winning. He's our second greatest president. So that guy literally was planning that attack on New Orleans, according to the FBI, if you believe them. And I tend to, they might be right, that New Orleans attack. Yeah, it's January 6th. It's the 4-year anniversary of the mostly peaceful protest, part of which turned into a riot. And they were prosecuting even the peaceful people who wandered around like it was in the Capitol building, like it was a, museum, which it kind of is. They basically like a guided tour. They stayed within the stanchions, those little rope things with the little stands. Some of them were disorderly, though. One of them got killed. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. Anyway, but Trump is back in his rightful place. It's going to be certified by so-called Vice President cackling Kamala Harris, certifying her loss and Trump's win. And so in 2 weeks, the 20th, I guess that's a Monday, the 20th, is Inauguration Day. Trump will be re-inaugurated as the 47th president, as well as the 45th. That guy he wore Meta glasses and visited Bourbon Street. That guy who did the truck attack on early New Year's Day, like 3:50 in the morning. That's around the time that I'm getting up in the morning. Although that's a couple hours ahead of me, I think. We wish Ukraine well. Oh, you want to drink your water? I'll tell you about that in a second. Melania Trump is going to get a documentary in Amazon, on Amazon Prime or something. Amazon, they're putting out stuff. That's crazy. $9 to enter New York City during rush hour. It's a congestion pricing toll. Rather than fix the roads, they're going to toll you to suppress you coming in. It reminds me of like these long lights to get up into Beverly Hills, or I don't know if it's true, okay? I'm alleging this without evidence. Or these long lights to get up into Arcadia, California. Beautiful Arcadia, California. They don't want the riffraff coming in. So in my mind, my conspiracy theory is that they are making you wait extra long at these lights with no cross traffic, but they're just waiting at these lights to get in. I don't feel like going to Arcadia. I don't want to wait for these long lights. Or I don't feel like going into Beverly Hills. But I don't know if that's true. But yeah, rather than deal with widen the roads. I know it takes a lot of work, but they make plenty of money. They spend it unwisely elsewhere. And also they could deport a lot of people who don't belong here and suppress that way ease the traffic issue and make people know how to drive too. Rather than being all selfish and cutting and trying to be all up close to one another, let each other in. You'll still get there. Probably not even that much different of time. United Airlines is getting Elon Musk's Starlink. That's cool. Hey, United knows what's good for them, even though they are liberals. So let me tell you about this water thing. I wonder if I have it handy. They say to drink, and the reason why I'm covering this drinking water thing is because it's actually like something that's relevant to me. I started drinking a lot of water when I was in like high school because I had issues. I was a cross-country runner, beta. But you got to drink plenty of water. I might have drank too much water, washed all my nutrients away. That's why I'm the way I am. But this supposedly can add years to your life. There was an older gentleman in my family who used to drink a gallon of water after his run at the end of the day, but wouldn't drink really any water all day. And I worked, with Finnish carpenters who would install cabinets and crown molding and different things like that. And they would not necessarily want to take a bunch of bathroom breaks, so they didn't drink all that much water during the day. And I understand it, but you ought to drink enough water. Not too much. You know how JLP has talked about how people are drinking too much water, carrying bottles with them, and this one suggests bringing water with you. Commie Nonsense Network, saying you taking the dog for a walk, a dog instead of a child, because we are a dog generation and not a child-friendly generation. Shout out to the childless couples. Some by choice, some not by choice. And a lot of us are getting awfully old before we marry anyway. And so that's contributing to autism? I don't know. But all kinds of issues and not having children and stuff like that. But they're saying fill a stainless steel or ceramic water bottle to avoid plastics, of course. Are the Nalgene bottles still okay to get? But get some water. I have water right here. because I'm new school, I'm subject to what they say to do. JLP is not subject, so I got this for JLP and he didn't drink out of it at all. And I'm drinking out of it in the first 15 minutes of the show. But yeah, for my taste, it helps. And as I mentioned, an older gentleman in my family, I think he got kidney stones because he didn't drink enough water. He would get all dehydrated and drink like a gallon after like a run in the afternoon or evening with his dog. And he got kidney stones. Ooh. I heard that kidney stones are painful. They hurt in your back, they say. The worst pain some people will ever experience. Kidney stones. Ooh. And passing them just the thought of passing them makes me lightheaded. Kids, don't look that up. Ladies, don't look that. I guess ladies can pass them more easily, I imagine, maybe. I don't know. Than the guys. But, whew. Anyway, kidney stones, don't get them. Gallstones, I'm not sure what gallbladder is, but people who get gallstones, kidney stones, and they say drinking water helps with that. They say 10 to 12 cups for men, 8 to 10 cups for ladies. Notice they spell out the 8, but put in the numerals for anything over 10. I guess that's their way. I don't know. I'm just commenting on their formatting or whatever you call that in this article. Nowadays, they don't have good editors, which is 2 to 3 quarts, they say. 2 to 3 quarts of water on regular days without intense physical activity or prolonged time in heat environments. You'll need even more then, so says this Trivia. And is that a woman? Are they citing some woman? What is this? Let's find out who this Dimitrivia is. Find. What? Hydration. Natalia Dimitri. I predicted it. They're citing a woman, a research scientist. I think that's a Natalia. Usually that's a woman, right? You never know with these Russian type. I don't know if that's a Russian at all. Names. A research scientist in the Laboratory of Cardiovascular Regenerative Medicine at the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute in Bethesda, Maryland. Because there's a guy who sings really well opera, and Andrea Bocelli. Andrea, that sounds like a woman, but it's a man. Shout out. And he's like the manliest man singer you can imagine. Very emotional though, but it's so good. Probably a liberal. Undoubtedly. So anyway, yeah, drink your water. Not too much though. Don't be going psycho because, yeah, it is like it becomes another like end into itself sometimes, these things. I exercised yesterday, and it was the first time in a while because of the time change, and it gets cold, and I'm not, I just got trifling. I'm like, it doesn't really feel like, I don't feel like it. It's cold. I'm tired. And what's up, Shane? And so, yeah, he can tell that I exercised yesterday. He says, Hake looking buff, America first. AS, America first. And I'm not judging the water drink. I'm a water drinker, and I'm not necessarily judging myself. But exercise is something, I think, that you should just do when it's time to do it. And not be like, oh, I gotta get my exercise. Don't let it be like an end unto itself. Same thing with the water. It becomes like you go overboard with it. Drinking too much water can kill you, says Albert. Wow. It was sunny yesterday, though. I was able to go out in shorts. My cup says, rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Bond. And if it's not available on Printify or, on the Bond store, rebuildingtheman.com/stores, let me make a note to make sure that it is available. Notes. Because we like to have stuff there for you. Bond mug. Nice. Use the new cup. Oh, says Gregatron. This is my spiritual cup. Gracias, Gregatron. All right. Anyway, I do have actual news to get to, not just a tip on water. I don't know what this. Oh yeah, I do know what this is. Okay. That's enough of the news. Oh, quick point. There are Christians who call Jesus and God the Father co-equal. But Jesus says, my Father is greater than I. So what's that? What does co-equal even mean? Isn't it redundant? Lin Yan Chin, is it redundant to say co-equal? People use these words. And I don't know why. I haven't been able to ask any of them at this point, but John 14:28, Jesus says, and I'm reading King James for you guys. Ye have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If ye loved me, ye would rejoice, because I said, I go unto the Father, for my Father is greater than I. My Father is greater than I. So then why are you guys calling him co-equal? People are calling him co-equal, co-eternal. What's that mean? Imagine asking Lin Yan Chin about English. I know, he's Canadian. Sort of. Just stop. You don't get it, and that's fine. So you don't want to answer either. You can't answer simply, at least, Reese's vids, or can you? It is not that's not co-equal. That means not equal. God over Christ. In your face, people. Shout out. So shout out to I call you guys Bible pushers. JLP calls you Bible thumpers. I think I'm going to dig in and call you Bible pushers today. Nice. Okay, so that's just a little nice thing. I read that. It's like the verse right after JLP read, which was, I think, 14:27, John 14:27, that says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. And I wonder what he meant, not as the world gives, do I give to you. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Something like that. I forget. Maybe that's not part of it. That's a different place. Maybe. Okay. All right. So shout out to Jesus and God and the people who say that Jesus is God, co-equal with God. Okay. Oh, you guys are seeing this Tommy Robinson thing. Okay. Yes. Tommy Robinson. I know it's not his real name. Is Kyle Kulinski Kyle Kulinski's real name? That sounds like a real name, actually. Kyle Kulinski. Hopefully he doesn't cuss in this. Secular Talk. JLP interviewed him, by the way. And he's mad at Jordan B. Peterson, who says Robinson, Tommy T. Robinson New Era. Tommy Robinson, the British activist guy who's in jail for... I covered it last week. Libel. Libel in defiance of a court order. Contempt of court, okay? Supposed libel of a then Muslim teenager. And Basil the Great posts, Tommy Robinson was one of the first to try and expose the Muslim grooming gangs. You know, very prominent anyway, right? He was smeared as a far-right racist for so doing by the mainstream media and the political class, and this from 2011, and it has this guy talking. Let me bring it forward just so you can hear this guy. Let me make sure that this is not too blasting. Let me know if this is too loud, okay?
The only one who's been murdered by a Muslim gang, you probably don't, I do. Do you know any 15-year-old girls that you know that you've grown up with that have been raped or pimped? You don't, so I don't expect you to understand the issues.
These are all personal issues of yours.
Personal issues in towns and cities, like mine, that are happening, and they're not happening with the Sikh community, they're not happening with the Jewish community.
And indeed, they're not happening with most Muslims.
No, they're happening within the Islamic community. This is what I'm saying, that it's an Islamic problem. And when I'm just a simple person, so I'm just a normal person, but when I'm looking at, I have to look for where this hatred is coming from.
So are you seriously suggesting there aren't white drug dealers and there aren't white gangs?
Of course I'm not, no.
Or Sikh gangs or any other kind of...
No, I'm not, but I'm saying some of these specific issues are coming from the Islamic community, solely the Islamic community. Terrorists wanting to blow us up, constant hostile activity towards our youth, all these problems, and from sitting back, there's got to be something it's coming from. None of the other communities are spreading it, so we're a symptom of the problem. The English Defence League are a symptom.
You're claiming that community is spreading it. Actually, what we're talking about
Members
here...
of the community.
Yes, exactly, as you could talk about members of the
community.
white community doing all sorts of atrocious things.
Yeah, but not 24-year-old groups of 10 of them hanging around outside school gates.
You've never seen a white gang?
And purposely targeting...
Never seen a white gang?
Are we going to pretend that Muslim groups are not out there purposely targeting our youth and pimping them? Are we going to pretend it's not happening?
You're not pretending white people aren't doing that?
Then not in the same manner, not in the same group. They're saying it's a cultural thing.
There you go. Just being reasonable, telling the plain old truth. Shout out. Shout out. Don't say pimped, kids. That was from 2011. And in 2010, like, it was starting to be like a major issue. I think 2010 they had a court thing, because that's what I read about when I was reading about the grooming gangs thing. So, and the guy's being kind of thick. This host, this gray-haired host.
Personal issues in towns and...
This gray-haired host talking like, oh, whites do it too. Of course whites do it too. It's just not as prominent as different cultures have the different symptoms. Duh. Anyway, so that's Tommy Robinson. And so Jordan B. Peterson, who was also on JLP's show. Tommy Robinson, I don't think he's been on. Has been trying to tell the truth to idiot moralizing liberals for more than a decade, says Jordan B. Peterson. And what does Kyle Kulinski say? A liberal. Secular talk. Dating an older woman. Hey, she's pretty though, but I disavow. He's dating a gal who's like my age. Has she been married before? Anyway, remember when you told Netanyahu to give him hell after October 7th? And then he did a genocide. A genocide? See, I told you it's a liberal word. Genocide. Is it a genocide what Israel's doing? He likes to change his subject. Kyle Kulinski, host of the show, co-host of Crystal Kyle and Friends. Crystal Ball, KR with a K. Crystal Ball, I know of her partly from cable TV. She used to be on cable TV. I forget whether it was MSNBC or CNN. And then she left, and then she was on The Hill TV with this guy. Oh, no, with Sagar and Jetty, the the sort of conservative, new right type, youngish, about my age, maybe a little bit younger, Sagar Enjeti, like Indian or something like that. DC type guy. He co-hosted with her. He was more like on the right and she was more on the left. And they got along and it was a fun little show. And I don't know if she's still on there. But this guy's been on JLP. It was a very classic. What is a man? An adult human male. That's Kyle. Kulinski. And he's mocking Jordan B. Peterson. And trying to pretend it's a genocide that Israel is doing in Gaza. Lord. That's a liberal word. That's a liberal word. I get that they're killing a lot of them. Are they killing too many? Maybe. I don't know. Just call me Ron Paul. Ron Paul. I don't know. It's not my problem. Even though I'm fine with Trump supporting them. I'm fine with Trump supporting Israel. I'm not fine with the establishment supporting Israel because they don't support Israel in the right way. When it's bipartisan, it usually means evil. So I don't trust. And you know the rhinos are lame. The most Republicans are lame. Pretty much all the Democrats are lame. And so no. Whereas Trump wants peace. So, and I think he and Netanyahu can wrap things up. Because I don't want those Palestinians dying of, like, number 3. Diarrhea. So many different things going on in the world, right? And one of them is this grooming gangs thing. So, shout out to, okay, so Kyle, you're being silly. And shout out to Jordan B. Peterson, whatever. I don't have a problem. Grooming gangs. Shout out to Cernovich, Michael Malice, and others. All, former guests on JLP who've been talking about it recently on X. 2010, okay, so this is from Wikipedia, far left Wikipedia. So it's mainstream. 2010 through 2019-ish, they've been having grooming gang prosecutions in these different places. And one of the places, and it's not just this place, Rotherham. I misread it. I'm a lazy reader. I misread it as Rotterdam, but it's Rotherham. Rotherham. I don't know, English people. Oh, and now they have all these issues by it. This article may be affected by a current event. So it's very politicized, this page. And so they're trying to contain it. But child sexual abuse in the United Kingdom. And when they say child, they mean 11 years old up to like 16, 12 to 16 mostly, okay? British Pakistanis. British Pakistanis. And those Pakistanis are Muslim guys, men, males, doing this. And there's been researchers and journalists. Sometimes journalists might do a good thing. I don't know. And it's been from the 1970s to the present. Wow. So it's been going on for decades and I think that these are people who come from like youth homes. So they have like bad parents or no parents maybe, or they're bad kids. Sort of like how that one girl, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, was a runaway working at Mar-a-Lago as a towel girl. And Epstein's female friend, gal, picked her up or something like that. And then that gal, in turn, picked up other gals and trained them to be all like sexual and nasty, allegedly, they say. So they target the vulnerable children, the bad kids, so-called. And what I noticed was this interesting thing. The thing that caught my attention. Okay, I'm going to get to Ella Hill. She's cool. Ella Hill is one of the former victims. I don't like using the word survivor because that makes you sound tougher than you are. And I don't like calling them a victim, so I call them former victim because she's not still a victim. She's a former victim. But anyway, what was interesting was the failure to address the abuse, okay, was attributed to a combination of factors, okay, revolving around race, class, religion, and gender, they say. Fear that the perpetrator's ethnicity as Pakistani, so-called British Pakistanis, would trigger allegations of racism, because anytime a POC is accused of a crime, that person cries racism. Lord. Contemptuous and sexist attitudes towards the mostly working class victims. Contemptuous attitudes, like I just said, oh, they're bad kids. How are they working class victims? If they were working, then they wouldn't have been caught up. They were picked up and they were kind of like stepping out and kind of threatened, I heard, in some cases. Lack of a child-centered focus, a desire to protect the town's reputation. Isn't that common? You know how these different towns, I think that they cook the books, like Chicago. I heard that they cook the books, quote unquote, which is to say, fool with the numbers, don't necessarily arrest for this or that crime. Oh, because we want to keep our arrest numbers down. That means we can say, oh, that's an indication that crime is down. So they're protecting the reputation of the town and pretending like they're doing a good job when everybody knows that they're not. Like the FBI undercounting crime, right? And then Biden saying, oh, crime is down, or Kamala, somebody like that, saying, oh, crime is down, but it's actually not. And also a lack of training and resources. Communist buzzword, resources. Shout out. AG says, Hake sounds more and more like a Muslim every time I get in. I don't even know what a Muslim sounds like, dude. What do you mean? Why does Hake talk about the Bible when he knows nothing about it? I read the whole Bible. What do you mean? What makes you think that I know nothing about it? And I will read your super chats. But isn't that interesting? They didn't do it because partly they didn't want to be called racist. And they're trying to imply that Tommy Robinson is racist. So lame. Give me a break. Makes me think of that evil, dirty C word. Not the one that's people say, well, the ones who forsake what's right for this, to kiss up to the people who are wrong. To kiss up to outsiders and kiss up to foreigners and kiss up, kiss up, kiss up. So that brings me to this gal, Ella Hill, a grooming gang former victim. She's older now, okay? 2018, as are we all. And she talks about Islamophobia in this 2018 article from independent.co.uk, a far left foreign outlet, okay? And non-Muslim hate. And she writes this, as a survivor, she calls herself a survivor, but that's okay. I still love her. Of the Rotherham grooming gang, I am scared by racism and hate crime in Brexit Britain, she says. And that makes it sound like she's scared of the whites being racist. She's, I welcome the new definition of Islamophobia. There's this made-up word, right? But in order to prevent racist abuse, we don't need to do this. I disagree with you. We need to teach that religious hatred towards non-Muslims is just as unacceptable. That's right, Ella Hill. That's right. That's why you just call it hatred. Hate. And then I will get to your calls and your super chats. And she wrote another article that I may get to. As a Rotherham grooming gang survivor, I've watched the events of the past few weeks. This is 2018, right? With interest and rising concern, a couple of years after they voted in Brexit. The public's response to Brexit negotiations is focused on issues of immigration. At the time, blah, 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 British Muslims announced a proposed definition of Islamophobia. Since the news of the Rotherham child abuse scandal broke in 2014. Wow. Tommy Robinson was talking about it in 2011, and then the news, it broke in 2014. And it's happened elsewhere, too. There's been a flood of reports from victims with similar experiences to me. The list of prosecutions of Muslim Pakistani men in towns, including Huddersfield, Oxford, Telford, keeps getting longer. Wow. These are different. Oxford. People do like studying overseas in beautiful Oxford, right? I don't think I'm confusing my Oxfords, am I? I've watched with alarm the public response to these revelations with rising anti-Muslim and anti-immigration sentiment and the appearance of some far-right extremists and self-styled neo-Nazis in the UK and Europe, which she disavows those, I think. Experiences like mine are being used to fuel this anger. And with the uncertainty posed by Brexit uncertainty, she said uncertainty twice, and an increasing militancy on the far left of politics, that's right, she is acknowledging both sides, the alt-left, as Trump called them. Emotions are running high on all sides. So she's talking about this Brexit betrayal march and all kinds of stuff. Far-left counter-agitators agitating for violence, protesters agitating for violence, towards a popular movement they see based in racism and anti-immigrant sentiment and Islamophobia more specifically. Blah, blah, blah. Their cars were set on fire. Arc de Triomphe in France was vandalized. The Yellow Jacket protests, right? And some people wanted the Brexiteers to do that, the Yellow Jacket stuff. Those French, they never do anything right. Shout out. They chop people's heads off in the French Revolution, which I don't think that was justified. And then they do these Yellow Jacket protests, and it's a mess. And yet they still kiss up to the fake idea of racism. They go after their cops who deal with squirrely black people who act out too much and call them racist, I seem to recall, like last year maybe. Okay, so this is so ridiculous when the government tries to define words like Islamophobia defined. I guess that's a parliament, right? Or somebody trying to make it some official. Islamophobia is rooted in racism and is a type of racism that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. So this gal, she's seen a lot of backlash towards Muslims, right? Because she's a former victim of the grooming gangs. They did some nasty stuff to these gals. Mostly gals, right? Mostly white. I prefer the term anti-Muslim hate. She prefers the term anti-Muslim hate as the what is that word? What's that word when something just happens, something happens? A phenomenon. As a phenomenon. We get this phenomenon of anti-Muslim hate because a whole lot of Muslims are doing this or that and they don't fit in. So it's a phenomenon of anti-Muslim hate. I'm okay with that. The word Islamophobia exists, so it needs a working definition, she says. Of course, Islam is not a race, but it's understandable victims feel exactly like victims of racism. Another fake word, fake idea, but I still like her. Having been a victim of profoundly racist abuse myself, because she was a white girl, I understand how they feel. And so she talks about what she was called, okay? So this part's sort of interesting to me. Gang grooming isn't like any other type of sexual abuse. There is a large element of racist and religious abuse involved too. Thankfully, the blah, blah, blah. It's absolutely not Islamophobic to condemn atrocities like the ones I and other survivors experienced. One extremist-related sexual violence carried out in the name of religion. What do we call other types of religious and racial hatred not covered by those definitions of Islamophobia? Racism. When you think of racism, you don't think of hating whites, people hating whites for the most part. Maybe some of you guys do. As grooming victims, my friends and I were called vile, racist names such as white trash, kafir girl. Hopefully that's not bad. Don't say that, Muslim kids, if you're listening. As we were raped, our Sikh and Hindu, Sikh, it depends on, I don't know the pronunciation, and Hindu friends, also little girls, also targeted by the Muslim Pakistani gangs, were disparagingly called kafir slags. A slag, I looked it up, it means like the stone stuff, the stony stuff that's left over when you melt away like metal and purify metal to get the stone out of it, to get it out of the stone. That's what that slag is. I think. Hopefully I'm not saying some bad word. Don't say it, English kids. Muslim rape victims were called coconuts. White on the inside, brown on the outside, for acting white. A term that is racist to both, they call it racist, to both brown and white people at the same time. I don't, honestly though, young lady, which is worse, the R or the name calling? I would think that the R is worse because the name calling doesn't matter. That's just what people do when they're doing evil to one another. Or when they're having a conflict. In this case, they were doing evil to you, they say. Either allegedly or convictedly. There are also examples of racist attacks on Muslims carried out by other Muslims, such as the murder of 71-year-old Jalal Uddin in Rochdale, 2016, reportedly killed by ISIS supporters. I like how she, capital I, lowercases, supporters who claimed he wasn't Muslim enough. And former Muslims are attacked daily for having left the faith. Right on, gal. Let me look up slag. Define. A stony waste matter separated from metals during the smelting or refining of ore. Offensive. Uh-oh. I'm not sure. It's offensive, though. Hopefully it's not something bad. Okay, so anyway, she was called something slag. Nice. Okay, so that's, isn't that a woman trying to be reasonable? And I like it. Shout out. I saw her name, this Ella, what's her name? Ella Hill. Oh, she said it was like a terrorist network, not like a pedophile ring. PDF ring. Where are we? I want people to know about religious extremism, which inspired my abusers, this gal said, also in 2018. Also in The Independent. Grooming gangs are not like pedophile rings. Instead, they operate almost exactly like terrorist networks with all the same strategies. I call myself a survivor because I'm still alive, she says. That's nice. She's not, because I read in like Tumblr, when I used to read Tumblr, that they want to call themselves a survivor because it sounds less victim-y and weak than calling yourself a victim. Okay, whatever. Whoa, a white C word. I was called a white slag and a white C word as they beat me. Taken to various homes and flats above takeaways in northern of England to be beaten, tortured, and R-worded, raped over 100 times. They made it clear because I was a non-Muslim and not a virgin because I didn't dress modestly. They believed I deserved to be punished. They said I had to obey or be beaten. What a mess. Fear of being killed, threats to my parents' lives made it impossible for me to escape for about a year. The police didn't help me. Terrible. So that's some of the mess that's going on. That's some background. What a mess. Terrible, huh? Anyway, let's keep it moving, move it forward. I want to get to DEBORAH in California. DEBORAH, how you doing? Thank you for calling and holding. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Do you celebrate Armenian Christmas like I do?
I don't even know what that is.
It's Orthodox Christmas. It's January 6th, I think.
Oh, no. If anything, I celebrate Mexican Christmas. Remember, I'm the anchor baby for my family.
Nice.
So we do Christmas at midnight. So
Right.
I never believed in Santa Claus, but, you know, he's still cool.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
So I feel, I don't know, kind of bad about talking about water after this big old trauma story about a survivor or a victim that you're talking about. And here I am going back to
water is more relevant than survivors.
It is, because even survivors need good water.
Right.
Okay, so I told him I wanted to school you a little bit on water because I do the alkaline ionized water machine. I've been doing that for over a decade, and I don't drink out of plastic. I drink out of glass bottles, usually the dark brown color. I forgot what the color they call it.
Are you out in the wind? Are you out in the wind? There's a lot of like noise, rough noise coming in.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, just shield your phone like that. That sounds good.
Well, I'm doing my morning walk on the farm.
Oh,
I'm
thanks.
Out of state. Yeah, I'm out of state right now because I had to heal. I got rear-ended, so I was in an accident. So this is a story. So I'm out of state for a couple of months, and I couldn't bring my water machine because I'm on a farm on well water, and it would totally destroy the water machine. You know, it's a $5,000 machine.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out what I was going to do. So we go to the supermarket and fill up the bottles of water. And like I said, I only use glass and
Why don't you drink out of plastic?
Because even though it says it's BPA free,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't tell you all the other chemicals that are in there. You know, they have hormones, and then the water, you don't know where the water's coming from. It could be driving through Arizona, and the heat the plastic and get into the water, and that water is completely contaminated. And they've already done tests that prove a lot of that water is just tap water that they're reselling.
And what's wrong with tap water?
It is infested with fluoride, pesticides, chemicals. Where do you think all of those leftover pills, pharmaceuticals that you take, where do you think they go? They go into the water system.
And the water treatment doesn't deal with that enough?
The water treatment doesn't do nothing. I mean,
But let's say if that was the only water available, it would be better to drink that than not drink enough water, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, you have to drink water if you have to, but you know what? We're in America. We don't have to.
Right.
You could go to the Goodwill. Every time you go to the Goodwill, they have 2 shelves stocked with all kinds of water bottles.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that.
Glass. Oh, yeah. Every single Goodwill you go to, you'll see it in the kitchen section and the sporting goods section. At every single thrift store Goodwill you go to, there's piles and piles of used water bottles.
That must be new. That must be new.
No, it's been going on for a decade. The average woman has 6 different water bottles in her kitchen.
Dang.
I know, I do. Ooh, a new glass water bottle. How cute. I have to have it.
That's funny. That's funny because I just called me a woman then because I have 2 containers of water on my desk, and then I have 3 in my car. So that's 5. Alpha. Terrible. Yeah, crazy.
So it's beautiful out here. Hake News. I'm out on a farm.
Nice.
I'm surrounded by 100 acres. I'm doing my morning walk in my hoka shoes. But I wanted to tell you about the alkaline ionized water machine. That is, I mean, I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm not.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't be promoting this stuff. But you just so alkaline water, huh? That's what you
find it
nice.
I've been here for several months. So what I did is I went to a farmer's market grocery store thing, and I got the Celtic salt in a glass container. It's kind of pricey. It was like $7. You know, your average salt is like $2. But what's an extra $5? So I get the Celtic salt and I put it, because I said we have to go and get the bottled waters, and those bottles are made of plastic, the 5-gallon bottles. So I put that in my little glass container with Celtic salt and half of a lemon. Well, I mean, depending on the size of the bottle that I'm putting it in. And then I do that. So I do water with Celtic salt and lemon. It's not alkalized, and don't ever trust alkaline water at the grocery store that's in a bottle.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I do is sometimes in the mornings, I will sprinkle some turmeric and some pepper, black pepper, you know, and then some honey, and then some lemon juice and vinegar, like apple cider vinegar. And I'll heat it up for like 45 seconds and stir it and drink it.
Let me school you on that.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to use turmeric root. You can't use powdered turmeric. If you use powdered turmeric, it diminishes the antioxidants and the nutrients in the turmeric. So you just go
But
to
it's so convenient.
No. You know what's easier? Getting a piece of turmeric and chopping it up and just throwing it in there.
That's not that easy.
It's super easy.
What about the outside part? You have to peel the outside part, right?
No, you don't.
You
don't have to peel the outside part.
But
you just chop it up and throw it in the hot water. You put it in there with pepper kernels.
Doesn't the outside part potentially have poop on it? Because it's like the root. It was pulled from. It's the outside of the root.
You wash it off, Julio.
Oh.
Just like all your other fruits and vegetables.
Oh, well, I don't really. Okay, well, all right.
But, you know,
see, this is a lot of work.
No, it's. So it depends on how serious you want to get, and don't ever use lemon juice that comes in the little plastic lemon bottles.
Oh,
because
this plastic is going in.
Is eating up that plastic, and it's going into the lemon juice.
But what's so bad about plastic? Drinking plastic.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of hormones in there. And, you know, the Army did the studies about the frogs, you know that, and that's why the men have become emasculated. So there's you think that's the root reason why men have become emasculated is the chemicals in the water? There really is no root reason.
There's there's a host of things that are maybe contributing or in some cases definitely contributing.
Yeah, and the brainwashing of these single mothers is probably the heart of what's happening right now.
Well, it's not just the single mothers because betas come from two-parent homes too.
Yeah, because of this generation.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, my dad. I remember going to the bus stop in high school, and some dude was listening to Duran Duran or whatever, and decided to put makeup on. His daddy pulled up in a pickup truck, grabbed his ass, started beating him in front of everybody at the bus stop, said, my boy's not going to be putting no eyeliner on.
You know what? I think that what makes guys effeminate more than the water or anything that you may eat, I think, my theory, is the schmornography stuff, pornography, you know.
Yeah, it's just like the video games. Your brain has to take it to the next level.
Yeah, the feminization of like the schools and the culture. I think that and the way that I think that those things, those one's own like habits and spiritual failures are
absolutely
far more important than anything about water. I think.
Well, it's not just the water; it's the plastic.
Yeah, plastic. That's what I mean. And far more important than the plastic that we may eat. I think.
Yeah. So let me get.
Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything, Hake. We're all.
But how about a lot of like the spiritual failure practices?
Well, of course, when they took the Bible out of schools.
Because you know how the blacks try to say, "Oh, there's lead in our paint. That makes us violent more." Because
I was eating lead when I was 4 and 5 years old, and I'm not violent.
You're also a girl. What's that?
We all had lead in the 70s.
Right. but although it's decaying more, so I could see it's, you know, affecting them more maybe if they're in these older homes. But yeah, they try to blame physical things more than.
Do you want to hear the conspiracy behind the lead?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, so the lead was in the paint, correct?
Right.
And they painted the homes in the 70s with lead paint.
Uh-huh.
Well, they came up with these vehicles, these vans that can now x-ray through the walls and see heat, so they can see like the figure of your body inside of the house. And like, you know, I forgot what that's called. It's not like x-ray where they can see you, but they can see movement, the body of your heat moving around, the heat of your body moving around. Well, lead covered that.
Oh,
So
it's kind of like how Superman couldn't see through
Yes,
lead
exactly.
with his x-ray vision.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
So they went and did this whole conspiracy about lead is bad for you. We got to get rid of lead. They convinced the masses that they had to get rid of the lead, so everybody got rid of the lead, and now, you know, we're easy targets. That's
Wow.
the conspiracy behind it.
Yeah.
Because nobody I know ever got sick, died, or had any problems with lead, and we all licked lead when we were kids.
What do you mean licked
There was
lead?
nothing else to do.
What do you mean
What's
by
that?
licked lead?
Well, you know, like the wall, you know, you were kids, they would, you know,
I
stick
never
your-
wanted to
stick your
lick the
tongue on
wall.
the wall. Yeah, I know, because everybody stares at their cell phones now. But when you're a kid and you got nothing better to do in the 70s,
Yeah.
we did all kinds of crazy stuff.
Okay, I mean, I was an 80s kid.
Yeah, 70s kids are tougher.
I could believe that. Yeah, those Gen Xers, I think they are. I don't think there's truth to that.
Just like the helmets, you know, I don't know a single person, and in the 70s we all rode bicycles. I
Yeah.
don't know a single person, or do I know somebody who knows somebody that ever had a head injury on a bicycle?
Yeah, when I was I guess 8th grade, 12 or 13 years old, 7th or 8th grade or so, they made that law. That law went into effect where you're riding a bike, you have to wear a helmet, or especially if you're a kid. What a mess.
That's another conspiracy.
And I felt so
to
nerdy
control the
putting on my
masses.
helmet. But
It is nerdy.
yeah.
Beta.
I know. But I did follow a couple of times, and I didn't necessarily hit my head, but it kind of helped with my head, protect
Well,
my
the
head.
thing is, we have natural instincts, and when you diminish the natural instinct by covering up, you tend to be more daring, and you tend to, like, have a little bit more accidents because you have that safety. It's like the sugar pill. You know?
Right.
You feel like you have that safety issue. When you don't have a helmet on and you know that you're going to die or worse, get paralyzed, you're very aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, you give me a flashback because I was taking a walk at the beach over Christmas vacation, and I was coming back and I saw this lady, presumably a mother, helping her daughter slide down a pole at a playground playset. And she was like holding the daughter up as she was reaching out to like grab onto the pole and slide down the pole, you know? And she's like holding her up. I'm like, that's not realistic. You got to let the kid kind of learn a little bit. Let her fall even just a little bit. And then you could catch her if you're concerned, because it is, a 7-foot fall or potentially, or not even really 5 foot to fall.
And see, she's making a safety zone for her so her natural instincts won't kick in.
Mama culture.
Mama culture. Man, that's sad.
Well,
okay.
thank you for your call. Great call, Deborah.
But don't forget about the water. It's very important, and try the Celtic salt. I get it in a glass container, and it comes from France. I think they probably have some here in America, but I haven't found it. And I put
I got to run. Just, Deborah, I appreciate
it. Love you guys.
it. Thank you.
Guys.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Shout out to the ladies. Cody says, Hake, show the based senator's wife ignoring Kamala's handshake. What? Really? I don't know if I'll get to that, but I have to get to some of these super chats. My goodness. It's terrible. In fact, I took some screenshots because I missed them on the D Live and everything. So let me show you guys. Pastor Chatelet gave these 2 Rumble rants that I didn't see. And I disavow this thing, this echoes thing. There are those of us out there fighting the word spells. L's, Hank friend. I'm not a far-right ethno-nationalist. I'm centrist. I'm probably center-left. Kind of a liberal. I like music. Anyway, stay with it, stay unmoved, and practice the desensitization to sensationalism, or as Jesse says, don't feel no kind of way about it. And he shares with me a flat earth, hey, it wants to click it. Isn't that cool? Flat earth video that he's seen, the best one probably, makes you think, he says. And I do have that down, and I may show it to you guys later. Thank you, Pastor Chatelet. I'm glad that I caught your Rumble rants. Those came in during a Big Bump's appearance. A bunch of ninja sleds from Aries 1. Thank you, Aries 1. Okay, let me do these in order. This person gave this coffee, Little Rock, man, a restraining order. Did I joke around about giving a restraining order against this person? I don't even remember what I said. Idle talk. Don't do it. From a man who I fear can't be around playgrounds is laughable. Because what do you mean black girls develop way more than white girls? You say weird things like you're Dahmer, Jeffrey Dahmer, right? The one who cannibalized some blacks, gays. You say weird things like Dahmer. If we're going to extremes, I'm sure the California Registry of Charitable Trusts would be really interested. Blah blah blah. You know what, Baja man? I'm being nice. I somewhat enjoy talking with Joel, and your little racist commentary reminds me of why I have to keep fighting. You're evil, but you gave me a chance to speak at one point, and you did try your best to read my super chats. I promised that 2024 would be the last time you and I directly spoke, so you apologize for threatening a restraining order right now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything. I don't know. I don't even remember thinking of you when I don't know. And I promise you'll be rid of me. I'm sorry. You called me nice once, so this is me being nice. Do not mention me again unless you're willing to have a grown man conversation. And James, I'm working with you here because your show helped me realize that evil exists. And again, you are, for the most part, an entertaining person. Ah, that's nice. Thanks, man. If you think I'm a stalker or a degenerate or whatever, that's fine. But lawyers are expensive, but us leaving each other alone, priceless. Ball's in your court. You. Shirley is okay to say, right? Shirley Black. I don't know if Blackguard is okay to say or not. P.S. This means not calling. If this means not calling Joel anymore, that's up to Joel and the network owner. And if you apologize, I'll only call his show once more to say a form of goodbye, something like that. Something you never allowed me to do. Wonder how the last year and a half could have gone if I had gotten that proper chance from your show. This is Richard Hake. And Asmodor saving your seat. In the HE double toothpicks? Goodbye and good riddance. Kick rocks, villain. Okay, so nice. Thank you for the coffee. That might have been 2 coffees. Is that 2? Oh, thank you. Carver bought our coffee. Hey, Hake. Thanks for all the beach streams during the break. It was a lot of fun. I thought you might like to know on these beach streams, our friend, the original ghost of Kiev, Kevin Howe, shout out, finally convinced me to accept Balltardism. I've listened to your case for the globe many times and never really got it. Like when you look at this, you see that, how it drops off right there? It drops off right there. Not there. It's like hundreds of yards to there. Maybe even miles. But yeah, it just drops off right there. And it's so crisp and clear. It's such a drop off. Beautiful. But he's never really got it with that. But what ultimately swayed me was the revelation that there is an entire genre of white flat earth rappers. I knew in that moment I had to distance myself completely from any association with that mess. Additionally, I became aware that I could not reconcile belief in the Nazi moon base and the flat earth at the same time, so I'm officially disavowing flat earth. And he's a moon landing believer too, I think. While I still think hyperdimensional turtle dreaming of a simulated Earth, that is so cool. The turtle that's holding up the Earth, that part I like, is slightly more likely than either flat or ball. For all practical purposes, I am now obvious globe. You may want to use this argument in your next debate. It was highly effective. Yeah, there's a bunch of flat Earth, white flat Earth rappers. Embarrassing. You really want to be associated with that, flat earthers? I would become Balltard immediately. Sam Lemons bought 5 coffees. The Constitution is FUBU, for us, by us. Says Hake, well said, Bread. It is indeed for and by quote-unquote white men. But the best thing about it, in my opinion, is once you are officially a citizen of the United States of America, you are also privileged those rights no matter what skin color, culture, nation, or religion to which you subscribe. And what you mentioned a few coffees ago about General William Sherman being responsible for 40 acres and a mule, he was. Wow, that's a good liar. Just to get them out of the way, or just to get them to help her. I forget what it was. Get them to do something. He had issued Special Field Order number 15, which divided 400,000 acres of Confederate land to newly freed slaves. But when Vice President Johnson took over following Lincoln's death, he vetoed it and returned the land back to the original owners. Happy New Year, Bread. B-R-E-D. Thank you, man. Hake was bred. I guess I'm just a child progeny. Well, that's good, because the land should go back to the original owners, in my opinion. That's just what's right. Oh, so the blacks wanted their 40 acres and a mule. It was somebody else's land that they wanted. That was taken from somebody. Are you kidding me? That's not right. Psh. Make your own way. You can do it. Thank you for your 5 coffees, Sam Lemons. That's cool. And then, Popcorn's Thump Keg. Okay. And I missed this one. I sent it to Big Bump, though. Would you mind summarizing for Big Bump my coffee about Emmett Till? Specifically, whether or not saying we don't know XYZ implies that it could have been justified? I'd like to get his opinion. Now, when Jesse said it, I doubt that he had thinking that it could have been justified. I doubt it. I just think he had no thought about it, which is the best way to have. Also, does he agree with you that rap isn't music? I think he's the one who told me that. I don't even necessarily think that rap isn't music, but I know that rap aren't songs unless you sing in a rap song. There are some singing in rap songs, but some raps, they don't have singing, in which it's not song. It's a piece. You know, like an instrumental is not a song because a song is sung, but an instrumental is a piece. P-I-E-C-E. Big Bump, have you heard the freestyle that Big Bump on Funk Flex? It was crazy good, says Popcorn's Thump Cake. And on the topic of regulations, Hake, you continue to show your ignorance. Quoting Hake, right? And I'm assuming a lot of them are dumb, I've heard. Yeah, I couch it in so you know what I don't know. That's why I specifically say that I don't know. Yes, I'm showing my ignorance purposely so that you know that I'm just saying something that I've heard, but that I tend to believe is true, such as the regulations are onerous. Trump said that for every new regulation, 2 existing regulations had to be removed. Can we start there and determine whether that happened? One can. I don't know who's we. You mean you and me? You and I? I don't know if I care to check into it. But thank you. By the way, Big Bump will be back MLK Day, January 20th, is the plan, man. And lastly, another one from Popcorn's Thump Keg, if it pulls up. Just making one last push for today's show closing musical selection. I played a gospel song from him before. For goodness sake, you play Mary Rice Hopkins in some song making monkey sounds, I believe. What the monkey sounds is, that is Mary Rice Hopkins. Yeah. But it's not racial, okay? It's not racial. Ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Ooh, 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 ah, ah. And it's ape sounds, not monkey. Apes are different from monkeys, by the way. But anyway, there might be some monkey sounds in there too. Let this be your DEI selection today, please. No, but it's Mexican Monday, man. I already made my choice. But he says, it's a cool retro gospel music. You can even see a guy holding an old school over-the-shoulder camcorder. Oh, yeah, I did see that. Separate the right from the wrong. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. And he shares a link with me. Right on, man. I shall consider that for another time. Probably not today, okay? Probably not today. Popcorn's Thump Keg. Big Bump says he will reply to your coffee on MLK Day. Thanks, hands emojis. I have checked out this song though, and so yeah, I might play it. Probably not today though. It's Mexican Monday, man. Mexicans like Colombian music, so don't be all nitpicking Hake because I'm playing cumbias and Colombian music or whatever. Mexicans like it too. And they play it, that's how I know about it, is they played it in the shop at the old place where I used to work. What's up, Punto King? Joyce? Hake looking good in that nice brown shirt. Thank you. Thank you for calling it brown. Sweet. All right. Let's get back to some calls, shall we? Hayden in Texas on the line here. Hayden, thanks for calling and holding, man. What's up?
We was king's sake.
Indeed, we were. We was.
We was.
That's funny.
How's it going, Hake?
Going well. How about you?
Doing good. I hope you and Bond had a great white Christmas and a great New Year.
We did, I think. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's great. So I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you heard about Trump wanting to end birthright citizenship?
Yeah. He's been wanting to do that since before his first term.
Yeah. I feel like he's actually get away with it this time around.
You think he'll be able to do it?
I do believe so. That'd
be great. I would love that.
Because I feel like it's such a problem now, and people are so aware of, there is such a thing as differences within the races.
Right.
That I don't see why it wouldn't happen.
And you know what? And people are so evil that they're going to use those differences to cry racism against each other or cry discrimination, and it's just going to be division because people are evil. They're not basically good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right on. And we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it, honestly. I would love for him to be able to do it. I don't know if he'll be able to pull that one off. If he does, I'll stand corrected, and I'll be glad about it. But I do support him. I do support ending birthright citizenship. It doesn't make any sense.
It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you're born here doesn't make you an American. Again, but one of the last calls I had with you was that hyphenated Americans call, and that just says it all.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
With Theodore Roosevelt's quote.
That's right. That was a nice quote from Theodore Roosevelt. That's an interesting that it's been going on that long. And he was talking about Europeans who came in here and were so-called Americans. What's up, Cash Daily? Yeah, it's been and that just shows you that it's not just even these European lamos and our English brothers. Some of them are not brotherly. They're lamos.
Right.
Just like that guy that you saw on that, who was debating with Tommy Robinson in that 2011 clip. That guy did not have the mindset of a sensible man.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, he liked a lot. just to put it in simple terms.
Right.
But so have you been noticing more and more whites, whether it be in the United States or in Europe, have you been noticing that a lot of whites are waking up to the whole the quote unquote race issue?
I have. I've noticed that a lot of people are noticing that stuff, and they're talking in ways that didn't used to be. I mean, it even makes me a little nervous the way they talk. You know how people have that fake false guilt about talking about race issues,
right?
And when somebody talks plainly about race issues, somebody might judge you as being hateful when that's not even really your intention at all, or you're not even meaning it in a hateful way. But if you read it on Twitter, it sounds harsher because it's written down. And normally, only the angry ones used to be outspoken, and now normal people are pretty angry too, are outspoken too. So yeah, I noticed that a lot of people are coming to that racial issue awareness.
Exactly, and I'm talking about like the 200,000. I mean, it's growing every single day. It seems like, and it's looking really, really good. I'll just say that much.
I mean, I hope so. It's not going to be good if they're not awake to the anger issue and the fear issue, because you can have all kinds of knowledge, but if you don't have love, then you're not going to get the right thing done. You're just going to go maybe the opposite extreme, or you're going to bring down a backlash, not you personally, but a lot of people who wake up to the race issue, not a lot, but a few people who wake up to the race issue end up making enemies because they go crazy over it. Dylan Roof, for example, let's say. Or Dylan Roof, he realized that black on white crime was actually way more rampant, and they were R-wording raping the white women more frequently.
Right.
And he realized the media was lying about racism. He became angry and wanted to start a race war, which is already happening. And so he went overboard and brought a big backlash against the whites. Similarly, there are people who just start making enemies because they're just angry and just saying words, which there's nothing wrong with saying words necessarily, but their spirit's evil, and they're just turning off people, and they're losing their jobs sometimes, and just being angry and getting themselves censored on social media, which is not right, but they should also have some better sense. So
that happens all the time.
Yeah, just
social media.
Yeah, I know. But just having the knowledge about race is not a good sign unto itself alone, because you also have to have the wisdom how to deal with it.
You're correct on that. You're 100% correct on that. But what I'm hearing from the whites, and I tend to agree with this. They of course notice the whole race problem. And they believe that whites deserve their own, countries, just like everyone else. And the solution would be deportation, not, any violence of any sorts or anything.
Right.
And I tend to be on that side.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. It should be, and we should get rid of these anti-discrimination laws.
Correct.
That would be a dream if we could get rid of some of these anti-discrimination laws, because it shouldn't be. One, like a business, should have the right to refuse service to anybody, and most businesses won't, but they will not have that fake fear of getting an anti-discrimination lawsuit. You know, that's an evil thing that has
Correct.
been coming in. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that people are noticing the whole, you know, hyphenated American scam.
Right.
So, you know, I guess that goes along with that. Now, did I hear Jesse right? He doesn't hire, or no, he doesn't hire people with black names. Am I correct when I say that?
I don't know if he does or doesn't, but he's said that he wouldn't, in general.
Yeah, I've heard him.
Yeah,
say
he
that. I don't know.
he says that he wouldn't, and it's understandable because they came from parents who didn't have sense to give them a normal name, you know.
Horrible work ethic.
Yeah, so right.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if he was able to get away with that or not, or he was forced to hire.
I don't think it's really come up, but he's raising a great point that a lot of whites have been trained and brainwashed to be like kind of impulsively, overly people pleasing and not wanting to look racist, and that's a bad thing, and that's a good thing to break because it's true. People with these black sounding names are coming from black culture oriented families, which is separated from God. It has everything to do with the mama and the false identity and the shallow identity and race stuff and trying to be separated from normal America, and is trying to be different, and that's not something that you should be trying to be. You should just
purely demonic. And
yeah.
But that's quite simply what every non-white race is. It's literally everything against white values and principles, and it is just pure evil. Like all this Islamic stuff going on, and them just just treating police horrible and just burning stuff down. I mean, it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
In our own country, this is going on, and we're letting them in because of white guilt. We're afraid of the R word, racism, and we're just letting them. I mean, we're practically just babysitting these people and doing nothing about it.
So true. Yep.
It's sick. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of I've been seeing a lot of Jesse clips on my feed.
Nice.
And I mean, they have just been absolutely like the Fallen State stuff.
Is that
and,
TikTok or which platform? If you don't mind my asking.
YouTube.
Oh, nice. Right on.
And his interviews with people on Fallen State, the ones that have been recommended to me, they've been just 100% great. And he's been 100% correct on every point. It's been amazing to watch. You know,
admittedly he's opened my mind in ways that I hadn't really allowed myself to think in the past.
Me too.
Because of that false guilt seeps in deep, and stuff that just doesn't sound right because we're so brainwashed with this anti-discrimination, anti-racism stuff. And I never really totally fell for the racism thing. It never really sounded right to me.
Me neither.
But even still, some of it had seeped in, and it has been interesting hearing him talk just like how a normal person would talk. And it's great. I appreciate him for that.
Exactly. It's great. It's great having to work with someone like that, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, that's all I got for you today, Hake.
I
if you don't want to add
appreciate it.
anything else.
Happy New Year to you, man. Thank you for the call.
Same to you. I'll probably call in another day again this week.
That sounds good. Take care, man.
All right. Have a good day, Hake.
You too. I want to show this to you guys, okay? I'm laughing already. It's terrible. It's ridiculous. Okay. No. You guys want to see something funny? Somebody tagged me on this. And it reminds me of me. Look, I put that's me. With a scrunched face, tongue sticking out emoji. Okay, so this guy is...
No!
Cows coming at him.
No!
He's in
No! Go on! Get! Go on, get!
Pure panic in his voice. This is just a guy, he's recording, and there are like these black cows.
No!
No! At least he's screaming manly. This video of a guy screaming in terror at a herd of tagged domesticated cows. Still one of the funniest videos online. Fighting for his life as if they're a pack of wolves coming to tear him apart. And not the least threatening animal on earth.
No!
We're just curious about him. Sort of amusing, right? What did it say? So hopefully this music is not going to get me blocked. But,
Go on!
don't cuss, man. Go on. Look at them. Whoa, he's bear spraying at them.
No!
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 Oh, man. I can relate to this guy so much. Beautiful area. Go home, young man. One more time, real quick. You sprayed it at him? No! Man, they're like running.
No! No! Go on! Get! Go on, get out of here!
That's weird though. I'm not used to
No!
seeing cows among trees. Beautiful
No!
area. Pine trees, other trees, grass, pine needles. Yeah, they are tagged. Those are hanging from their ears. But they're black
No!
cows. There's no male cows, right? Wow, how they move. That's interesting. Are there any males in the herd? Because males are kind of scary, right? They're crazy. Don't
Go on!
All right. Whoa! Uncalled
No!
for.
No!
I think I might have responded to this too. I know how you feel. And I wrote it all black. Terrible. Reminds me of that guy who kept pursuing the mountain lion, kept pursuing mountain lion at bay. Only that guy was maybe in more danger. Remember that guy who was getting chased by a mountain lion? You're in the, like Marshall Canyon, California. In like, I don't know, inland, in the hills. You want to not be the straggler. You want to not look weak and unsuspecting because you could get attacked by a mountain lion, also known as a cougar. There's usually one bull in the herd. They're called bulls, says Cody. Bulls are the males. And what's a steer? Is a steer the one that's been neutered? Hey, you can't relate, says Jasmine. Jasmine said something funny / embarrassing. It's because the cows are black. Nice. Hake would spray them, but the wind would blow it back in his face. Indeed. What are male cows? There's bulls, but steer is what... Anyway, it's not important. At least not at this time. I'm a city boy. Hake has no excuse. As Hake with the stray cats. Oh my gosh. I used to be nervous around dogs. I'm less so now. But nice. Thank you for the tip. Somebody tagged me on it. And I was like, no! No! I used to wake up screaming like that. Because of like that strong fear. Let me make sure that Joel Friday's redirect is set. We will have American Anchor Baby after him. Emotional American Justice is Joel's thing. Yeah, it's been years since I screamed. Can we get Ellen news? Yeah, so Joelle Friday, then American Anchor Baby, and then after the American Anchor Baby, Punchy TV. Punchy TV. What's up, T-Flying Monkey? Peyote. Change your username, Peyote. I don't like that word over there. Go back to being Goethe or whatever you were. Nice. Nice. Sweet. Let me double check over on the D Live crew. Nice to see you guys. Thank you, Aries 1. Did you give me more? Did you give me more ninja? Oh, you gave me some ninja guineas, Aries 1? Thanks, man. Those are not ninja sleds from last week. Those are ninja guineas or diamonds. I don't know what. Oh no, you gave me some diamonds. Okay, or diamond. Appreciate that, Aries 1. Oh, did I miss it? Did I not read it? Let me refresh. Refreshing won't help. The thing about D Live is if I miss it, it's gone. It's horrible. Okay. I think we're all caught up on these super chats. That's funny. But anyway, what's up, brother Sonny? Yeah, I'm live on Kick. I'm live on Twitch. I'm live on elsewhere. All right. What else do we need to cover? I've been wanting to cover that for a while. About this being scared of the animals. You know what? This is sort of interesting. Sort of. Conservatives not liking Trump. This is sort of weird to me. In the fight between Trump versus conservatives, I'm with Trump, but I acknowledge that the conservatives might be right. I don't know. Because I don't know. 3 GOP congressmen who were speaking loudly on New Year's Day, right, against Trump's endorsement of Speaker Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, I've never been that big of a fan of, okay? He seems like a nice Christian rhino. I don't know. But hey, he worked with Trump and okay. And Trump endorsed him. But Thomas Massie is one of the guys I like. Chip Roy, I thought I liked that guy. Good, I'm not sure who that is. Congressman Good. Bob Good. Born in 1965. From Virginia. They call this a commonwealth. How hoity-toity do you have to be? Just call it a state, man. I'm kidding around. Let's see what this guy looks like. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Not familiar with him. But Thomas Massie, he's like that sort of nerdy, independent thinking guy who got yelled at by that black guy who said, "You're not looking at the data." Thomas Massie's okay. I don't think of him as a rhino. I don't know where he stands with Trump. Chip Roy, I think he fooled me. Chip Roy stood against something recently or stood for something recently that I thought was good. I'm like, oh, this guy must be an okay guy. And then what, come to find out, he was like pretending like January 6th, 2021, 4 years ago, was this bad thing. And that Liz Cheney's a decent female congressman. I don't think she is or was. She's gone now. Or senator, whatever she was. Chip Roy. I wonder if I have that video handy. I'm not sure that I do. There's been so much going on. See you. Nice. Okay, so... Oh, did you know this? By the way, this is kind of important. So leave it... I'm leaving it as an I don't know in terms of who's right and who's wrong about the congressman. But look at this. Is this true? This is the, I own some Redskins swag, right? Redskins. It's a Blackfeet chief. Blackfeet. Blackfeet is like an Indian tribe, I guess, right? Chief. Drawn by a Blackfeet artist. Is this true? Approved by the Blackfeet Nation. Is considered offensive to white people. Oh, Lord. This is the Redskins logo. Former Redskins logo. I wonder if that's true. I don't know if I... Designed by a Blackfeet. Blackfeet? Walter Blackie Wetzel helped design that logo as a tribute to the chiefs of the Blackfeet Nation. Whoa. There's a Montana family that was working to have the NFL team, the Washington Redskins. Now they're calling the Commanders. Washington football team. And I don't care about the NFL. It's evil anyway, but it was used for nearly a half century, almost 50 years. The late Walter Blackie is his nickname. I guess that's a nickname for Blackfeet. Wetzel helped design that logo as a tribute to the chiefs of the Blackfeet Nation. Is that true? It is a helmet logo worn by Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, Mark Epstein, who quarterbacked the team to victories in a bunch of different Super Bowls. The Redskins helmet honors the Blackfeet Nation. And I remember I got some swag from like Amazon or from, I forget where. Maybe I got it straight from the Washington Redskins website when they were first coming under attack years ago. And my friend, who's a liberal and has like full-blown American Indian victimhood, American Indian activists, full-blown with American Indian name, right? And they said, oh, you're a jerk, Hake. But come to find out, it's supported by the real Indians. Wow. Shout out. The Commanders have acknowledged my grandfather and his contribution in designing this logo, said Ryan Wetzel to something something. They have acknowledged our family, and being able to be part of the family has been something I know my grandfather would have always wanted. They used the logo starting in 1972 until 2020 when the team changed their name amidst concerns. Anti-white. And then there's been blacks who've like made a team named the Caucasians. Fine with me. If you think we're tough and want to be like us, fine. If I'm Caucasian, I don't know. He served as tribal chair, this Walter Blackie Wetzel. I like saying that word because it sounds like you're not supposed to say it. In the 50s and later as president of the National Congress of American Indians. So who knows? He might have been some lame-o liberal too, but right on. It's a great logo. I like it. Terrible. Look at all these advertisements too. There's all kinds of division and evil. You have the black people, the brown people, the white people, and then the red people. Redskins was how you would identify as a cultural person, being so-called Native American, Wetzel said, Ryan Wetzel. It wasn't offensive to be called Redskins. He understands the negative connotation of Redskins and scalping. Oh, scalping. That's when you cut the forehead and peel off the skin. Ooh. Is that what he means? What a mess. So right on, in your face. But I guess it's in our face because they still got their way. It's terrible. Oh yeah, see, there's the diamond from Aries 1. See, I can see it on this browser, but not on the other one. Thank you, Potleaf, for the lemon, by the way. What's up, Jake Husden? Jake Husden? What's up, Army Ann? She gave a lemon, apparently. Nice. Very kind. So, right on, right on. I don't like the word woke, but whatever. Shout out. Let's see. Oh, terrible. Somebody sent me this tip about this, another guy who was tortured or kidnapped or at least killed or something like that by whites or something. Terrible. Oh, here's the flat earth proof thing. That's crazy. People are saying that there's propaganda circulating about grooming gangs. I don't know. Here's Nancy Pelosi, nervous Nancy Pelosi. Last topic, okay? Oops. What in the world? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Here's nervous Nancy Pelosi. Aaron Rupar posted this. He's a liberal, okay? So-called journalist. The worst of the worst. Shout out. Talking about January 6th. Okay, so let's hear. Evil Nancy Pelosi.
One of the defendants, we were looking for Nancy to shoot her in the friggin' brain, but we didn't find her. For you, this is personal.
So somebody said that they wanted to shoot her in the brain, in the friggin' brain. Don't say that word, kids. But they didn't find her. Was anybody even armed? Lord.
For you, this is personal. So when you hear about pardons, do you think the nonviolent attacker?
If it's personal for her, she should abstain from commenting on it by saying, you know what, it's personal. This woman wants to justify her having a personal beef with the January 6ers. Give me a break.
Deserve to be pardoned?
The nonviolent, I think that's a violent attacker with the intention.
The violence itself.
Yeah.
The violent language, you think.
The violent language, yeah.
Violent language? Shout out. I disavow intent to harm.
That's the intention. And, of course, the intention to attack the Vice President of the United States.
Oh, she pretends like she cares about Mike Pence. That's just banter, saying hang Mike Pence. Give me a break. That's just banter.
Now, it didn't end that day. As you know, he called out to these people to continue their violence. My husband being a victim of all of that, and he still has.
Her husband was a victim of somebody. It seemed like they knew each other, maybe. I don't know. Are they trying to say that that was right-wing violence?
Injuries from that attack.
Yeah,
so
terrible.
It just goes on and on. It isn't something that happens and then it's over. No, once you are attacked, you have consequences that continue. So I don't, it's really a strange person who's going to be president of the United States.
It's a great person who's going to be president. A great man to you, Nancy.
Who thinks that it's okay to pardon people who are engaged in an attack. But
he wasn't going to pardon any of the violent ones. Nancy!
You know, let's do this.
Let's not do this, Nancy. Evil Nancy Pelosi. Oh! Zazen says, Hake will talk about, I saw that, about what's his name resigning in a couple of years. I saw that. Trudeau's going to resign out of nowhere. Why? What? That's what he gets for being a male feminist. I wonder if he's going to get replaced with somebody even worse. Trudeau is resigning, I heard. I saw it on a CNN headline. That's crazy. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. We'll see what happens. It is Mexican Monday. She's lucky you weren't interviewing her, Hake. She accomplished more than me, Terry. I got to wrap things up, and this song is so cool. I mean, I think so. I hope you guys like it. I know I do. This is Muñeca, or Muñeca Esquiva. Hopefully that's not something bad. Adios, America. Joel Friday coming up next. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. And I don't know who it is. I haven't figured out who it is, but it's like some cumbia, which the Mexicans like. So, and I learned it from the Mexicans. So we're calling it Mexican Monday, even though I don't know if it's Colombian or not. Whatever. Vice. So good.
Muñeca, ¿por qué eres tan esquiva, muñeca? Muñeca.
Hopefully he's not cussing or saying something dirty. Why do you port yourself that way?
¿Por qué eres tan esquiva, muñeca? Muñeca, ¿por qué es que te portas así? Esquiva, 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 esquiva. Ayer me dijiste que mañana, ¿qué pasado, qué pasado? Así se va toda la semana y yo esperando, esperando. No sé por qué te portas tan esquiva, por qué te portas tan esquiva. No sé por qué te portas tan esquiva, por qué te portas tan esquiva, 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 esquiva.
Great replacement music, Hake. Nice way to start 2025. Indeed. What's Esquiva? I better not ask. Why you dodge? Esquiva, dodge, I guess. ¿Por qué es que te portas así? Why are you acting coy? Thank you, Seasal.
Pagarás por lo que finges. No sé por qué te portas tan esquiva. ¿Por qué te portas tan esquiva?
Hake on Shaker.
Te portas tan esquiva. ¿Por qué te portas tan esquiva?
Stop worshiping the women, dudes.
Ay, mami.
Whoa. I disavow. All right. I gotta get out of the way, guys. Juan Xiang.
No sé por qué te portas tan esquiva. ¿Por qué te portas tan esquiva? No sé por qué te portas tan esquiva. ¿Por qué te portas tan esquiva? Esquiva, 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 esquiva.
Adios, America. Take care.